This here is from Depp Delusion, and Johnny Depp said something I've actually said at least 4 or 5 times over the last year or so. The Depp vs. Heard case is kind of like OJ Simpson. And now, this is crystal clear. I'm not talking about anything that happened with OJ or with Johnny or with Amber whatsoever. What I'm talking about is the way people talk about it. It's something that's so big, it's not going to go away, it's here forever. And this is exactly what Johnny meant when he said OJ. And when he said it, I knew people would take it in all different directions and not understand. But of course, as I said, he wasn't comparing things he did with things OJ did or didn't do or who knows. He was comparing the way the public perceives it and the size and magnitude of how people talk about it. Now, of course, Amber fans are going to be like, ooh, look, he thinks he's OJ. So the post is about 3 days old now, and it says, Johnny Depp compares himself to OJ Simpson. Let's see what these geniuses have to say this time. And by the way, it was a brief mention. It was clear. He obviously mentioned it, but it was kind of stuck inside of 2 sentences. It wasn't this long, drawn out thing. He's just a horrible public speaker. My favorite part of Madon's whole video series is this clip of some bootlicking streamer who goes, wow, he's such a good storyteller, while Depp's rambling on incoherently and wrestling with basic syntax like Jacob with the angel, because everyone knows exactly what you mean by that. I would actually say that this post here is a little bit of a ramble. I would actually say this entire forum is a bit of a ramble. Manga Pear says, I mean, when the only source of how someone speaks in their interviews, I think he's just a bad speaker in general, laugh out loud. You can definitely see a clear cognitive decline from drug and alcohol abuse. Yeah, Johnny's had some drugs. He's had some alcohol. He's not a young, strapping 25-year-old guy anymore with this big, powerful voice. He says what he's got to say. It's a bit artistic. All right, fine. Just an absolute nonsense rambling piece of shit. I used to love this guy, of course. Really rated him. From his Jump Street days to his well-chosen roles in movies that meant something like Gilbert Grape, Benny and June, Ed Wood, Sleepy Hollow, Donnie Brasco. That's right, Johnny's got an impressive resume, thank you. And thought he was great in Pirates too. But then he just became too self-indulgent, such a Hunter S. Thompson fanboy. He lost all his charms and now he's just an unwashed, pathetic scumbag, A-word, with nicotine-stained fingers, effing gross. Of course, this person must have been a pretty big Johnny fan. That's how it goes, doesn't it? You're a fan for 35 years or more, and then at the end you're like, he's not the same anymore. I'm not a fan. Sounds a bit fishy to me. Not the full market, but definitely some fish in this comment. They're not talking about OJ, by the way. People on here kept saying how she was wronged and were so upset for her, but I still stand by what I said back at the trial. Amber knew she told the truth, that she stood up for herself and got out of that relationship with nothing tying her down. Wait a minute, I thought we were talking about OJ. I would say these here are rambles. What do you know? Looks like that first comment was talking about this forum here. To me, that was always a win. That's how I still feel. She could have kissed ass and taken money like others and had gotten out without all the hate from social media, but spoke up and got dragged into it. All right, so the post is about how Johnny compared himself to OJ, and if these people at least had some smart propaganda, they would mention that, but they can't even. You know why? All rambling. Okay, this person at least mentions OJ, so is the next one. JFC, this is bad. Weird OJ reference. Aside, he's slurring and making absolutely no sense. He's starting to sound like Ozzy Osbourne. Why his team allowed this interview to happen when he's in this state, I don't know. This is not exactly going to help his big career comeback when anyone with half a brain cell can see he's still using. No one cares about Johnny's interviews as far as judging his movies and artwork and music. It's an extra thing he does. We hear him talk. We make what we want out of it. That's not what we judge Johnny by. Whoa, look at that interview. I'm not going to see Marty now. That's going to be a bad movie because look at this interview. Just has not much to do with each other. But okay, this person Freddie Frog thinks the OJ reference is weird, he's really missing the big picture. Like I said, it's about how people react to the magnitude of what happened. It has nothing to do with OJ. It's actually a very, very sound comparison, which I've made, like I said, quite a few times. And Michael Jackson. Johnny's got nothing to do with Michael Jackson, but the Jackson case is so big, it's going to pop in and out of the media forever. Just like Depp and Heard. It's pretty fucking easy. But easy things are usually hard to understand for Amber fans. This is why I don't think him having a comeback of sorts would be particularly a bad thing. His brain is mush, and there's no way his PR would be able to hide it during a major press tour. The more he does mad things like compare himself to OJ, the more people will surely start to doubt his character. Once again, Red Squirrel doesn't understand Johnny's analogy, which is actually a very good one. It's so tiring, man. These people really think it was just some weird, random, exposing thing? The problem is, there's just a lack of critical thought in general these days. Everywhere. Anyway, let me do a shout out. Shout out to Pam, always dropping comments like every single video. It's appreciated. There's your shout out. That's about it. I think I made my point like 3 or 4 times about why Johnny compared himself to OJ. So let me know what you think in the comments. If you're not subscribed here, consider it. If you don't, I'll be sad, but I'll get over it. See you next time.